Alright guys, so here is your how to care for your starter video. You are going to feed your starter when it has doubled and is nice and bubbly. You are going to discard half of it, or about half, and you can take that discard and create another jar of starter if you want, or you can save it and put it in your fridge and use it later for a recipe. Usually for most recipes you're going to need at least like a cup to 2 cups of starter, so I usually keep 2 jars on my counter. This is about a cup right here, so that's enough to make probably 1 loaf of sourdough. I'm gonna go ahead and take half of this and put it into a new jar and show you how I feed it. So I'm gonna put my new jar up here, turn my scale on, make sure I'm in grams, and hit the tare button so I'm zeroed out. I'm gonna stir up my bubbly starter and knock down all those bubbles, and then I'm gonna measure out however much starter I want to maintain. So I'm gonna go ahead and put, we started with 50 at Bridge Street, I'm gonna do 100. So that's 50 grams. And that's 100 grams. So that's what 100 grams of starter looks like. Now you can hit the tare button again, or you can just watch the numbers and do the math when you're putting in your other ingredients. So we're doing equal amounts, 1 to 1 to 1 ratio. So 100 grams of starter, 100 grams of water, and 100 grams of flour. So I'm going to do my water next. So as you're pouring, you kind of want to watch your numbers. When it starts to get close, slow down. Once I get the water in there, I like to give it a stir and mix the starter with the water. This just makes it easier to mix your flour in after. So I'm going to go ahead and stir that up. When you don't have lumps of starter in there, it mixes with the flour a little easier. So at this point, everything is very liquidy. Now we're going to go ahead and add in 100 grams of flour. So I'm going to hit tare again. Scale's going to zero out, and then I'm going to start sprinkling in my flour. So 100 grams of flour is about a cup. So I usually fill a cup, and then when it starts getting close, just put in a little bit at a time when it starts getting close. So that's about 100 grams of flour. I'm going to get my spatula again, and I'm just going to stir that into my liquidy water starter mixture. So this is about how much I maintain on my counter, and I do 2 jars, and then that gives me enough starter to make 2 loaves of bread. I always make 2 loaves of bread when I make bread, because it's just as much work to make 2 loaves as it is 1. You could always freeze one or give one away. When I stir this up, your starter should be stiff. It shouldn't be flowy like pancake batter. It should be more like biscuit batter. So this is what your starter should look like. So it's not really flowing, it'll stick to the spoon, and that's a nice stiff starter, and I think that those respond better and grow better and hang on to your jar better. So once you're all mixed up, you want to scrape the sides down on your jar as best you can. I switch my jar out about once a week, just so I have a clean jar to work with, because it's hard to get the starter off the sides after you use it for a week. And then I put a pickle pipe on my jar so the air can come out the gases when they build up. So this is a pickle pipe that goes on, and then I just use a regular metal ring. There's an airlock so air can come out but not go back in. And then don't forget to put your rubber band on there so you can tell when your starter's doubled. Then you're just gonna do this every day if you have a counter starter.